One of our knitting friends got in touch with an interesting problem. Her machine appears to have run amok. It should be advancing the card reader one row with every pass of the carriage. Instead of that, a single pass produces multiple advances on the card. She has correctly determined that something is going on in this area that is not as it should be. And she's noticed that if she presses down a little bit on this bracket, the behavior is more normal. But she can't get the bracket to stay in the position that will ensure normal behavior of one advance per pass of the carriage. She correctly observes that she's missing a little cap that can be pink, orange, or red and is present on her 820. Most Brother punch card machines are arranged almost exactly the same. Here is the 892 with that cap. Jack will explain what the missing part is for in a moment. Take note of the amount of bounce in the bracket.
This is normal operation. Change direction, it advances, change direction, it advances. She doesn't have this little pink piece that we have on this one. Now, this piece, I'm going to lift it off. It just sits there. Its function is because on this lid, you've got two arrows, and it'll either be under this arrow or that arrow. And it just shows you what direction you're going in. That's all it does. So it's not necessary for this to be there. That's its only function as an indicator, which direction you're going in. Now,
so the machine will function minus that little hat.
Yes, it will. But your two little arrows will never show you which direction you're going in. But I think most knitters know what direction they're going in. But see, this is normal operation. And if you'll notice, there's two stop pawls right here. I'm going to try to, there they go. They're pulling away. And there's two of them, a short one and the tall one. As they come around, notice they both line up against this stop. She pushed down on it to make it behave, and I noticed it was moving. So what I'm going to do is get this one out, and this is not recommended to do at home unless I can't show up. But it's two cross-point screws right inside of here. This is what we just took out, and we had to take this end cap off, and I will show you why. Because this little slot right here that the screwdriver tip is in goes on a tang that sticks out. Now, this is in its proper place. You're going to see in the presentation video that our friend sent us that she's pushing down on this with some effectiveness. And what I'm saying is that shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't bounce, in other words.
No.
It's possible for this part to become misshapen, and if that happens, it won't stay in the correct position to perform its function of stopping that rotation. So Jack's going to describe for you what it should look like.
Flat, horizontal surface, 90 degrees to a vertical surface. There's that little slot right there. It goes over a protrusion in the end of the bed assembly.
What if it's not seated? Could that cause the bounce?
Yes. Now, horizontal surface, 90 degrees to a vertical surface, and then another 90 degrees to a horizontal surface. I have seen this part bend. So you take it out, you look at it. If you have a straight edge of some kind or a right angle gauge, but you can mostly look at it and see there's not misshapen in any way. Two screws, a long screw and a short screw is what I'm using. I think at one time it was two little short screws, and there's threaded holes for them right in the end of this bed. I don't know if the camera can get a view of that.
Yes,
Okay.
Got it.
So here's the tab. This is tab A, and it has to go into slot B. That's old serial humor. But
yes, I don't know that all of our watchers will know. We put together thousands of things with those instructions back in the cereal box prize days.
That's it. So now I'm going to hold this as if it were screwed down. And if my lovely bride will hand me the carriage. And here we are, changing directions again.
One time per pass.
That's right. It does that every time you change directions. The functionality of it is, notice this piece when it goes down, and it meshes with these gears, but that going down is what frees these, what everybody calls the little gold pins. It pulls them down so that the card can advance, and then they reset themselves. And that's actually how it makes the selection. With the side off, you can actually physically look down in there and see if the screws are loose. That would be my suspicion. And I'll show you by getting this back in.
We have a lot of experience with loose screws around here, but not the way that sounds. They just loosen up from use and also travel. Right. Shipping is very hard on machines.
Now, you see, that's too much play.
Yeah. Mine would start misbehaving.
It would. And what it is I've got the long screw in, but not tight. And once they start to flex, they'll try to do it every time. I've actually pulled them off and had circular scrape marks under here where this has just gone around so many times. So my suggestion would be, take the cowling off of this side of the machine like we've done.
And that's covered in another video. I will try to put a link. As a matter of fact, we now have a whole playlist on getting machines into and out of their cases. And one of them, at least, includes getting these ends off. So I'll put the playlist link in there so you can get into pretty much anything.
Now,
that's nice and firm.
That is proper alignment, proper placement.
Can I see?
Yes. I'm the table clamp track.
It's easiest to see the behavior of the card reader with a card. So now we're in the locked position, and we'll move the carriage to and fro. Action here, but no action here.
Okay.
And in the third position, with the needle, the button farthest away from you, it advances every other row. So you can see this card makes zigzags, and they would be longer zigzags in this position.